Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Or if you're new here for the first time, welcome. My name is Angela, and I find my paradise through reading. And I am so super excited to share my major book haul from the public library. So every year, my library has this huge annual big book sale, and it's a fundraiser to raise funds for the library. So, wonderful cause. Thousands upon thousands of donated books are in this massive building. And yeah, I always make a day of it. I bring my wagon, I spend hours there, I pack my lunch, I bring my drinks. It's a whole event. Um, Last year at the book sale, I was pretty much there all day, and I came out of there with like 114 books. This year, I wasn't there for as long, but I think I came out of there with 68, 79 books, I think it was. Um, I don't have all of them here because I was there with someone, and so I got them a whole stack of books. They got 11, I think 11 um, of the books. So the ones that I kept and bought for myself are here, and we're going to go through these. This would be like a terribly long video if I told you all about all of these books. So I'm going to try not to like go into too much detail, but I really wanted to show and tell, show what books I got. And I don't know the best way to do this. Let me see if, let's see here. Maybe you can see me a little bit closer. There's so many. Oh my gosh. But I feel like if I'm on this side of the table, maybe you can't see them that well, but this is the best I can do, I think. Um, or maybe let's go with it and see. No, I really want you to see these up close because let me see. You can't see it from there. Hold on. I'm going to bring you next to me. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I didn't think the things through completely because it's just been really busy. A really busy week. I actually went to this book sale. This was last Friday. Right now it's Tuesday, and I haven't even gotten to like go through these books or enjoy them and organize them and put them on the shelves. But let's get started. Okay. All right. So the first I have Toni Morrison, Jazz. Okay. So Toni Morrison, she's just awesome. Best. Just her writing is magnificent. It's going to be probably 100% of the time an amazing book. So you can never go wrong with any Toni Morrison book. I have On Earth, We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. I've heard so many awesome things about this book. I even love the title, On Earth, We're Briefly Gorgeous. The title alone is beautiful, but I heard Ocean Vuong, amazing writer, so I'm excited. We have De Profundis by Oscar Wilde. The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. All right, we have Madame Bovary by Gustave Flaubert. Yes, sir. For Whom the Bell Tolls by Hemingway. A Dog's Purpose by W. Bruce Cameron. Now, I forgot to mention that. What I say, I bought 79 books. I spent $164. So that just shows how freaking cheap these are. Some of the paperbacks were only 50 cents, some were $1. I mean, amazing sale. See You in the Cosmos by Jack Chang. The Unmasking of Oscar Wilde by Joseph Pierce. And I'm very curious about Oscar Wilde and his story and his writing, so I want to get a little more into that. Hillbilly Elegy by J.D. Vance. The Play That Goes Wrong. So I actually got this because I went to go see the Play That Goes Wrong at an opera house, and it was such a fun time. It was so funny, and I was like, "Oh, this is cute," so I can read it. Then I have Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand. It's a big chunker. I didn't realize that Atlas Shrugged was such a big book. I have no idea what it's about, but I've heard about it, or I've heard the title enough times in passing that when I saw this, I was like, hey, a lot of people have mentioned that book. I don't remember what it's about. So I grabbed it just in case. And then I have The Prophet, a graphic novel. How cool is this? Hold on. I got to move these books out of the way to really show you this. So Khalil Gibran's The Prophet, a graphic novel. I thought this was a really cool find. Look at that. It's a full color graphic novel. And I have read The Prophet. I think I read it last year or the year before, and I thought it was fantastic. And so now I have the graphic novel. So I think that was a really neat find. I didn't know this existed. So, okay. Next stack, we have The Tourist by Olin Steinhauer. The Art Thief by Noah Charney. Blackwood Farm by Anne Rice. Now, I grabbed this because I am reading The Vampire Chronicles by Anne Rice, and this is one of the books in The Vampire Chronicles. But the last one that I read was Memnoch the Devil, and I think I have 3 more books to read after that before this one comes up. So I'm not there yet, but I have this when I'm ready. The Water Mirror, Dark Reflections Book 1 by Kai Meyer. I just grabbed this. I mean, look at that. That looks so neat. The back. Strange. Deckled edges. I don't know if this has any illustrations. Doesn't look like it. But we have Orlando by Virginia Woolf. Not excited about the cover because this definitely looks, yep, definitely this is taken from a movie. Not excited when they use movie covers, but it was probably like, yep, $1. So I'm going to get it. And then if I really like it, I'll keep my eye out for a better edition of this book to keep for my collection. Ernest Hemingway, The Garden of Eden. 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. A Beautiful Mind by Sylvia Nasser. I actually think I have this book already. I'm almost certain I already have this book. But if I do, I can donate one to the Little Free Library. And then I have a Virginia Woolf book, To the Lighthouse. So it came in this little box sleeve. I don't think the book itself is anything special. It's just like purple and nothing fancy. So the only thing fancy about it is that it came in this box. So we have that. Next stack. We have The Call of the Wild and White Fang by Jack London. I recently watched The Call of the Wild. It's just a couple months ago this year. Watched it for the first time and really enjoyed it. So I saw this book. I was like, oh, now I get to read the book. We have Lord of the Flies by William Golding. Okay, this I haven't read since I was in school. So I'm due for a reread on this. I remember I hated the book. I remember I thought it was horrifying and tragic. We'll see how I feel about it as an adult. If you know me, you would know that I am not a fan of child on child violence, which is why I really don't like the Hunger Games and certain other like movies, books, and shows. So it's just really disturbing for me. And I remember The Lord of the Flies was that way. Ooh, Steinbeck, The Grapes of Wrath. Ooh, never read that. I have this little Spiderwick Chronicles. So these are books 1, 2, 3, and 4. So let me pull them out. Book 1 of the Spiderwick Chronicles. I like children's books. I like YA books. I mean, I'm all over the place. So here's book 2. And these look so cute. I don't think I've ever read any of them. Book 3 and book 4. Okay. Then we have Roald Dahl's Book of Ghost Stories. I love me some Roald Dahl. And if you don't know who that is, let me see. Roald Dahl wrote the BFG, the Big Friendly Giant, Matilda. I'm going brain dead, but wrote awesome books. And then I have, look at this. Oh, this was a really cool find. This is The Picture of Dorian Gray and Other Works by Oscar Wilde. So this, oh my gosh. Okay, so I read The Picture of Dorian Gray, I think maybe 2 years ago. Really good, obviously. So this has Lord Arthur Saville's Crime and Other Stories, The Happy Prince and Other Tales, A House of Pomegranates. It's got plays. So I do want to get a little bit more into his reading, as you can see. And I was just mentioned it earlier that I want to know a little bit more about Oscar Wilde, his life. He was a very interesting person. So then I got, oh my God, A Thousand Splendid Suns by Khaled Hosseini. And is this the one that I already had? I already had a copy of this in my shelves, but this one actually has color photographs all throughout the book. So I am going to donate the copy that I have and keep this one. And then I have And the Mountains Echoed, also by Khaled Hosseini. And I already have a copy of this on my shelves also, but when my son went on vacation to Puerto Rico for a week, his dog was upset, and so she decided she would pull my copy of the book off the shelf and chew it up to show how upset she was. I'm not gonna lie, like, look, there it is. That's what she did because she was upset my son was gone. So that'll go in the, I mean, it's still readable. None of the pages were destroyed, so I will donate it to the Little Free Library. Okay. Then I have another set of books here, and this is the Series of Unfortunate Events. I read maybe the first 2 books. I don't have copies of them. I thought they were fun. So these are the first 5 books. So I will show them to you quickly. We have that beginning. The lighting, I know with these shiny books is just, I don't know how to get past that. So, where's book 2? Book 2, book 3. They're all out of order. But here's book 3, book 4, and book 5. Okay. Ooh, Roald Dahl wrote The Witches too. The Witches. Oh my gosh, that was so good. Anyways, we have Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad. I'm not sure why I grabbed this, honestly. He's widely regarded as one of history's greatest novelists. His style influenced generations of authors, including F. Scott Fitzgerald, William Faulkner, Ernest Hemingway, George Orwell, Gabriel Garcia Marquez, and Philip Roth. Joseph Conrad. I must have read something of his or something. I don't know. Oh, I was excited about this. Oh, Neil Gaiman, Stardust. I was looking out for any Neil Gaiman books. Um, he's a new favorite author of mine. Love him. Love T.J. Klune. So I was definitely keeping an eye out for that. So found one. Harper Lee, Go Set a Watchman. And I read To Kill a Mockingbird and loved it. Thought it was just absolutely fantastic. Loved it so much. And so I haven't read any other works by Harper Lee, so I will read this one. I heard it's not as good as To Kill a Mockingbird, but we'll see. Oh, another Toni Morrison. There's something sticky on this book. Okay. So this is Paradise. Okay. We have Arabian Tales from the Arabian Nights, translated by Sir Richard Francis Burton. Beautiful book. Love the colors. And then we have Dan Brown, Angels and Demons, special illustrated edition. I wish I could show you how heavy this book is, but it's got like really dense, glossy pages, lots of pictures. Dan Brown is such a fantastic writer. He wrote, I think, Inferno. I think it was just Inferno, not Dante's Inferno, but read Inferno, loved it. He also wrote, what was the other one? It'll come to me, but awesome, 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 awesome. We have Ernest Hemingway, A Movable Feast. Yes, sir. This was a cool find. Been wanting to read A Movable Feast. Then Le Petit Prince by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. This book is written in French. I had this book in French. I loaned it to someone and never got it back. So I'm due for a reread, I guess, and I will put my annotations in this little volume. It's a shame because the copy that I had was like a newer copy and it was like beautiful. It was a nice size. The pages were nice. The floppiness was nice. And this is a pretty old little version. So it's kind of stiff and not as nice, but whatever, when you loan people books, All right. So we're on another stack and we have a couple Penguin classics that I found. So we have Charles Dickens, The Pickwick Papers. I heard this one's not a great book. It's a little bit difficult to get through, but I'll be the judge of that. Arthur Miller, The Crucible. I have not read that since school. Due for a reread. The Republic, Plato. All right, North and South, Elizabeth Gaskell. Wives and Daughters, Elizabeth Gaskell. Okay, we have Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf. Woo. I haven't read any Virginia Woolf, and I hear she's phenomenal, so excited. And we have Kurt Vonnegut, Mother Night. I read Slaughterhouse 5, I think it was called, by Kurt Vonnegut. It was awesome, so I'll check out some of his other works. So then we have Uncle Tom's Cabin by Harriet Beecher Stowe. Big chunker, but it's Uncle Tom's Cabin. I think that's one of those. It might be in the list of 100 greatest books ever written. I'm not 100% sure. I got to cross-reference the books that I found with that list and see if I got any that were on that list. Then I have The Tale of Genji by Lady Murasaki Shikibu. I probably butchered that in every way. I just thought it was such a gorgeous cover. So, okay. And then I have Nicholas Sparks, Every Breath. Come on, Nicholas Sparks is freaking awesome with his romance. Romance books, I'm telling you. So if you've ever seen The Notebook, the movie The Notebook, that was based off of a Nicholas Sparks book. The book was fantastic. He even has another, I think it's a, was it a prequel or a sequel? I think it was a prequel. I don't even know. It was just, hmm. But there's another book that goes with The Notebook. I think it's called The Wedding, and that was great. That was a really good one. Oh, I have another set. Oh, this is the series of unfortunate events, books 7, 8, 9, and 10. So that got separated from the other ones, but here's 7. You see it with the glare. Sorry. 8, 9, and 10. Okay. This was a cool find. The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store by James McBride. This was a pretty popular book in the last couple months, last year. I think it's a pretty new release, honestly, because I just started seeing this book absolutely everywhere a couple months ago, last year. Well, copyright 2023. I have no concept of time, I guess. So, whatever. Then I have, oh, this is neat. The Invention of Hugo Cabret by Brian Selznick. Gorgeous book. And I have another one of his books on my bookshelf. I forget what it's called, and I want to get to it because it looks so neat. But it's so similar to this, like so many just drawings along with the story. So I mean, this just looks so cool, and the other book is like that. This looks amazing. Ah, okay. Then I have Ink Spell by Cornelia Funk. I have no idea what it's about, but I loved the cover and the title. So beautiful book. Ah, The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill. I just got some gorgeous books. I was just so pleased with what I found at that book sale. Oh my gosh, look at this one. Stephen King, Desperation. Has anybody read this one yet? Look at this. Big chunker. Stephen King can write, I'm telling you. And I haven't been much into horror this half of my adult life. I used to love reading Stephen King and Dean Koontz. Um, I want to say like maybe early 20s, late teens, but as my anxiety and just everything and just life, I just I felt like I guess maybe reality was scary enough. I didn't have to like read like books to horrify me and scare me even more. So I kind of like moved away from reading horror, but I kind of want to get back into it, and I would like to attribute that probably to Brahm. And when I read Slewfoot, and it was just like creepy and weird, and then I read Krampus of um, also by Brahm, and then The Child Thief by Brahm. And I think I've read like a couple other kind of creepy books, and it was I had a pretty decent time. So maybe I can like start getting back into horror a little bit and see how I feel. We'll see. And then we have Joan Didion, The Year of Magical Thinking. Oh, you know what? I actually read this in college. Um, one of my classes was death and dying, and this is one of the books that we read, and I remember just it being so impactful and devastating, and just she just wrote her experience so well. She lost her husband, and this is just what she went through, like, just her grief and the steps of grieving that she went through, and it was it was heartbreaking, but it was a great book and very well written. Oh, and I have another Dan Brown book, The Da Vinci Code. That's the other book that he wrote that was fantastic. So between Inferno and The Da Vinci Code, I can't even tell you which one's my favorite, but this is another Dan Brown book, and this is The Lost Symbol. Okay, I think yeah, that is it. Let me just count these up real quick. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 14, 16, 18. Oh my God. 20, 22, 24, 26, 27. Oh my goodness. 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48, 50, 52, 54, 56, 58, 60, 62, 64, 66, 67. So there's 67 books here, 67 books here, and 11 that others that I bought that went with the person I was shopping with. Um, yeah, that's it. That is it. Okay. I'm gonna go through and some of the ones that I have multiple copies of, like the Khalid Hosseini books, I am going to go ahead and switch them out on my shelves. I also have The Art Thief. Watch out, grab it here. So this is like another book that I already had a copy of on my shelf. I'm gonna see which one I like better and keep the better copy, because one thing I do look for when I'm going to these book sales is I'm not just looking for new books, I'm looking for better copies of books that I already have. And obviously, I'm going to get them at a really great price. For $1, yes, I'm going to upgrade to a very nice copy, because I don't just read books, but I like to collect them. I think they're beautiful to look at. It's almost like art. And so I just like to have like nice books. So that's that. Thank you so much for watching this video and seeing the books that I got this year at this year's book sale. I am happy that I finally had time to share it with you so I can organize them and get them on my shelves finally and start making like a TBR, and picking out which books I want to read first, because there's so many good ones in here and so many that like I've been wanting to read for so long. So I think I'm gonna pull this aside. I'm pretty sure I already have A Beautiful Mind. And I mean, I'm not mad. I do that often where I do accidentally buy another copy of a book that I already have on my shelf, but I haven't gotten around to reading yet, so I forgot that I have it. And that's fine. I'm totally happy with having bought like another book that I know is good and donating it to a little free library. I'm absolutely happy with that because I love giving books to the little free libraries. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining me, and I will be seeing you soon on my next video. Bye and happy reading, folks.